What if I told you that the path to sainthood was paved with controversy? Would you believe it if I said that applies to none other than Mother Teresa? Indeed, the story of Mother Teresa, born Anjezi Gonshe Boyakshu, is a fascinating study in contrasts. A figure of boundless compassion for some, a symbol of misguided charity for others. Known for her tireless work with the poor and destitute in Kolkata, India, her life was a testament to selfless service. Yet her methods and motivations have been the subject of intense scrutiny and debate. Was she a beacon of hope for those in dire need, or a purveyor of suffering in the name of redemption? Did she truly serve the poor, or did she merely perpetuate their misery? These are the questions that have stirred up a whirlwind of controversy around this iconic figure. So, buckle up as we delve into the life and works of Mother Teresa, a figure revered and criticized in equal measure. Born on August 26, 1910 in Skopje, then part of the Ottoman Empire, Agnes Gonsha Boyakshu would grow up to be known worldwide as Mother Teresa. Young Agnes was the youngest of 3 children in a devout Catholic family. Her father, Nicola, was a well-respected merchant, and her mother, Dranafile, was a deeply religious woman. Despite the early death of her father when she was just 8 years old, her mother instilled in her a deep sense of faith and compassion. It was these early years that sowed the seeds of her calling. At the tender age of 12, Agnes felt a strong calling to serve God. She was particularly moved by stories of missionaries serving in India. This calling grew stronger with each passing year, and by 18, she had made up her mind to devote her life to religious service. To prepare for her life as a missionary, Agnes left her home and traveled to Ireland to join the Sisters of Loreto, an Irish community of nuns with missions in India. Here she took the name Sister Mary Teresa after Saint Thérèse of Lisieux. A year later, in 1929, she sailed to India, a land that was to become her home and the canvas for her monumental work. Sister Teresa began her work in Calcutta, where she taught at the St. Mary's High School for Girls. However, the sight of the suffering and poverty outside the comfort of the convent walls deeply affected her. She felt a strong call within a call to serve the poorest of the poor, a decision that would lead her to start the Missionaries of Charity and transform countless lives. Despite the challenges that lay ahead, Sister Teresa was undeterred. She had a vision, a purpose, and an unwavering faith in God. She was ready to embark on a journey of service and compassion, a journey that would etch her name in the annals of history. The young, determined Agnes was now Sister Teresa, ready to serve God and mankind in a foreign land. In the bustling city of Calcutta, Sister Teresa's calling took on a new direction. Amid the teeming masses and the cacophony of life, Sister Teresa found a new purpose. Her heart was moved by the sight of countless individuals, forgotten by society, languishing in the streets. Their plight, their suffering, their desperation touched something deep within her. She knew she had to act. In the year 1950, Sister Teresa received permission from the Vatican to start a new congregation. This marked the birth of the Missionaries of Charity. The order was a humble one. It started with just 12 members, but it was fueled by a powerful mission to quench the infinite thirst of Jesus Christ on the cross for love and souls through the service of the poorest of the poor. The Missionaries of Charity sought to serve those whose society had left behind. They reached out to the homeless, the sick, the dying, those who had no one else to turn to. They offered not just food and shelter, but also love, compassion, and dignity. They saw in each person they served not a hopeless case, but a beloved child of God, deserving of respect and care. In a world often dominated by materialism and self-interest, the Missionaries of Charity stood as a beacon of selfless love and service. Their work was not easy. The challenges were immense, the resources often meager, but they pressed on, driven by their faith and their commitment to their mission. Mother Teresa once said, "Not all of us can do great things, but we can do small things with great love." This belief was at the heart of the Missionaries of Charity. They did not seek to change the world with grand gestures, but rather to touch individual lives with acts of kindness and compassion. Despite overwhelming odds, Mother Teresa and her sisters were determined to serve the poorest of the poor. Their work, their dedication, their love would go on to touch countless lives and inspire millions around the world. As the Missionaries of Charity grew, so did Mother Teresa's fame and the scrutiny on her work. It was a journey that turned a humble nun into a globally recognized figure. Mother Teresa's work with the poorest of the poor did not go unnoticed. As her efforts became known worldwide, she began to receive recognition from various quarters. The Indian government honored her with the Padma Shri in 1962 and the Bharat Ratna, India's highest civilian award, in 1980. Her work transcended borders and cultures, leading to the Nobel Peace Prize in 1979. But the Nobel Prize was not just an award, it was a global acknowledgement of her unceasing work among the destitute and dying. Her acceptance speech, a plea for peace and love, resonated with millions around the world. Yet with this recognition came scrutiny. Critics questioned her methods. Some said she glorified suffering instead of relieving it. Detractors pointed out the inadequate medical care in her homes, the lack of proper hygiene, and the reuse of needles. They claimed that the donations she received did not reflect in the facilities provided. Others criticized her stance on abortion and contraception. Her belief in the sanctity of life, they argued, stood in stark contrast with the realities of overpopulation and poverty. Yet despite these criticisms, her commitment to the poor never wavered. The criticism did not deter her, nor did it lessen the respect and admiration she garnered worldwide. She continued her work with the same zeal and dedication, her focus always on the individuals she served. It's important to remember that Mother Teresa was not a doctor or a social worker. She was a nun whose mission was to show love and compassion to those who were often forgotten by society. Her work, her methods, and her beliefs were influenced by her faith. Mother Teresa, a beacon of compassion for many, was not without her critics. Yet she stood steadfast in her mission, a symbol of selfless service until the very end. In 1997, the world mourned the passing of Mother Teresa, but her story was far from over. As the world bid adieu to this iconic figure, her legacy lived on through the Missionaries of Charity, an organization she had founded many years ago. It was her brainchild, her dream to aid the impoverished and the sick. Her death marked an end of an era, but the work she had begun continued to thrive. The Missionaries of Charity, bearing the torch of Mother Teresa's compassion and dedication, carried on her mission to serve the poorest of the poor. The organization expanded globally, reaching out to the destitute, the sick, and the dying in over 100 countries. The sisters, clad in their characteristic blue-bordered saris, became symbols of hope and love in the darkest corners of the world. They continued to uphold the principles that Mother Teresa had lived by, providing solace and dignity to those who were often overlooked by society. But Mother Teresa's journey didn't end with her physical departure from this world. In the eyes of the Catholic Church, her journey was just beginning. 6 years after her death, in 2003, she was beatified by Pope John Paul II, a step away from sainthood. It was a testament to her extraordinary life and the countless lives she had touched. 13 years later, in 2016, Mother Teresa was finally canonized as a saint by Pope Francis. The ceremony in Vatican City was a global event, watched by millions worldwide. They paid tribute to a woman who had devoted her life to the service of humanity, a woman whose compassion knew no boundaries. In her sainthood, Mother Teresa transcended from being a humanitarian icon to a spiritual one. Her life and her work became a beacon of faith, inspiring millions around the world to serve those in need, just as she had done. Mother Teresa's journey from a young nun to a globally recognized figure and a saint is a testament to her unwavering spirit and dedication. Mother Teresa's life and work continue to inspire and provoke debate, even decades after her death. Her early life and calling took her from the comforts of home to the slums of Calcutta, driven by an undeniable faith and a desire to serve the poorest of the poor. She founded the Missionaries of Charity, which despite its humble beginnings, soon grew into a global force of compassion and service. Yet, even as global recognition came her way, so did criticism. Questions about her methods, her motivations, and her management of funds continue to stir controversy. Her canonization as a saint by the Catholic Church, while a testament to her impact, adds another layer to the debate. Her legacy, like her life, is complex. It's a tapestry of service and sacrifice, faith and controversy, love and criticism. Whether you see her as a saint or a sinner, it's undeniable that Mother Teresa left an indelible mark on the world.